Hi guys, and welcome to another colour along. Today I'm colouring along from Moonlight Mischief, and I'm going to colour in Busted, which is this little rabbit who's flogging a carrot from the Finest Carrots grocery. And I'm always fond of a nice bit of stonework. I've got this fun door that I'm going to do in a really bright colour, and then all these cool flowers. So I'm looking forward to colouring this along with you guys. If you don't have Moonlight Mischief that you want to colour along, you can grab a copy of my March Colour Club pack, which will give you this illustration, as well as the duplicates with a different version of it, which looks sort of like that, which is pretty fun in its own right. And I'll also give you all the colour alongs that I'm going to be doing in March. Did one for January, did one for February, and now we're doing one for March. Before I start, which I almost forgot, I need to go and find my sheet of acetate. Put it underneath there. And I also like to throw under there a sheet of paper just to absorb. I'm going to use coloured alcohol markers, and if I just use it straight with acetate, it does tend to bleed a long way, but the paper absorbs it. It helps me keep within the lines, which is something I always endeavour to do. Right, I'm going to start with, I hope to have a colour sheet here. I've got these lovely sort of yellowy, earthy colours. Now I've got these in a little, these are Creative Place colour graphic markers, alcohol markers, but if you've got something that's similar in your set of colour markers, so you could go with a warm grey 140 maybe, or a warm grey 150. I'm going for a cool grey 05 and a warm grey 1. I don't think it matters, as long as you've got some nice light earthy tones. One's a bit darker than the other, it should be good. So I'm going to start, just check that I've got my paper under there. So I'm going to destroy the one under it. And I'm just going to colour in the stonework around here. And this is a really light colour, so it's sort of fun. Well, I hope you guys are all well. It's been exciting times where I am. There's a tropical cyclone just about to hit in the next couple of days. We're already seeing some pretty fun winds. I went to stock up on petrol and some food this morning at 7:30 a.m. and the shops were chock full, and there was a huge queue for petrol. I think everyone's got the same idea. Get prepared, because when the cyclones come through, you can lose power and you can get flooded in. All sorts of stuff happen, so it's good to be prepared. So the last time I looked, the cyclone was going to hit about 15 k's away, 15 kilometres, but it's started to head a bit south from me now, so it's heading more towards the city of Brisbane, which is good for me, not so good for them. Thankfully it's only category 2, so there'll be strong winds and lots of rain. I think we'll be alright. You just have to survive the winds. Make sure you've got nothing floating around your yard that's going to get picked up and thrown into a window or something, or hit your neighbour's car, anything like that. And be aware of what's happening and what's going to go. It's the rain that's the main thing, because if you get 400 mils of rain per day for 3 days in a row, things tend to get a bit soggy. I'm going to colour in here on these as well. Right. I think that's all the stonework that there is to do. There's some out here, but we'll play with that later. Right. I'm going to just get my darker colour now and use my finer nib. And I think I'm build in some sort of shadows. Around that inner frame there, and just sort of play with a little bit of texture and tonal. We're sort of tonal at this stage because I'm going to come back in with pencils, play with this. I don't know what's in these alcohol markers, but man, they stink. Making my head spin a bit. I think I like my Ohuhus better, but I don't have this colour option available to me in my Ohuhus. So I'm sticking with these, even though they're a bit smelly. I might just get some colour up in here, a bit darker. A bit shadowy, even though he's got a light source there, so maybe not too much shadow. I'm just costing up whether to keep basing with my colour markers or whether to start digging in with some colours. So I'm going to grab some pencils. I think I might go with some of this. What is this? This is a brown ochre. Maybe a bit of orange. Terracotta. Brown ochre, terracotta. What about some of this green gold? I always tend to err towards the green gold, don't I? Now this is green gold I'm just playing with at the moment. I don't want to darken this up too much, but I do want to bring some texture and some shadows in. I'm bringing my brown ochre. I do love my Polychromos to be nice and sharp. And I'm using them on Amazon paper. So I hope if you're living in Australia and you're in the path of this cyclone that you're I'll be thinking of you guys, because I know some of you do live a little bit south of me. But I'll tell you what, everyone I know who loves surfing is very excited because they're rushing down to these huge waves, which I think are 8 meters at the moment, which is pretty huge. And there is a rumour that they'll get up to 17 meters as the cyclone crosses the coastline. So if you're a surfer, that's 8 meters is fun if you're good. I think 17 meters is scary and you don't want to go out there. And for you guys that measure everything in feet, I'm not quite sure what that is. I think it's 2.5 feet equals 1 meter. 3.5 feet? I don't know, I can't remember. So I'm just sort of filling in and buffing in some texture and having some fluctuations in colour, so a little bit dark and then really light, especially around things that need to be shadowed. I always love emphasising shadows. Like around here, shadow in the cracks in the rocks, shadow. I'm thinking the light's coming from there, so I'm going to build some shadows into that. Might also pay me to play with that light source colour before I fill this all with colour. Alright, and this is my terracotta, which is a little bit more orangey. Just bring a bit more life into it. Oh, I am thinking, because it's a Finest Carrots grocery shop, that there is going to be a bit of orange happening. I was tossing up doing the door in orange. But I'm not convinced yet. Thought I'd do this first and see what it looked like. Maybe a deep orange, almost reddish. All right, I'm going to put those aside for now, and then I'm going to bring out my Canary Yellow, because let's get this light happening. I'm thinking this light's going to be nice and bright. I'm also going to put some of that yellow where I think it would be falling on this little dude. maybe even on the ground a bit. Maybe up on that door. Alright, so the light's going to be shining on here, but it's going to be sort of blocked from here, so I think I'm going to give this a nice dark. Shadow effect. Pencils flying everywhere. This is the terracotta. I'm just using those same three colours that I used for the outside of these rocks. Being the brown ochre and the terracotta and the green gold. Not so much green gold here until I get around to here maybe. I really need a darker, a lovely dark colour. What have we got here? Burnt umber. Look at there, dark brown maybe. More chocolatey brown. Alright, let's keep pushing the envelope. I'm going back to my markers. I've got a pale green, I've got a mint green, I've got a mint green light. So I'm going to pale green and mint green light these vines. I think I'll start over here. Alright, I'm just going to mix these sort of when they are a little bit wet. So I'm hoping to get some lovely little colour blends. And I'll bring in this mint green, which is a little bit darker than the mint green light, I hope. looking for some really nice blends here, so I'm colouring the whole thing in and then just sort of trying to leave the tips the lighter green. I just find it blends nicer blends more nicely when you've mixed them all up when they're wet. There's a little branch up there. I'm wondering about doing the little key lines around this sign in that green, but what do I do the inside? So many decisions. Could be fun to do those doors green. Then is there too much green? These are the carrot orange that I'm hoping to bring in. The green and orange are contrasting colours, so they'll always work well together. Make each other pop. It just might be too green if I do the gauze green. Maybe I'll do them orange. I think I'll stick with my deep orange. I'm leaning towards that, guys. Sometimes I'll sit down and work out beforehand and swatch out my colours on a blank scrap bit of paper just to sort of work it out in my head where I want to go. But today I just thought orange, carrot, I'm going to wing it. So thanks for joining me on my unplanned colour journey. Tell you what, we're getting pretty close to releasing Mr. Fogarty's third book, Lost in Time. I can't believe I've done 3 books for Mr. Fogarty. He's certainly indomitable. And this book seems to have a fun little storyline in the background, so I can't wait to share with you. Everything that I've drawn. Mid-March it's coming out, so keep your eyes peeled. If you're not part of my mailing list, then I can ask you why. Why are you not? Because I let my mailing list know first when those books are out. Plus there'll be a Mr. Fogarty colouring sheet, a complimentary Mr. Fogarty colouring sheet included in this email, which won't be in the book. So there's a lot of incentive to be on the mailing list. You can get on by just going to rjhampson.com, finding my newsletter mail, sign up. I don't give you a lot of emails, I send one a month. So I'm not going to fill your inbox with spam. It's just keep in touch, give you some free things to colour, and let you know when new books come out and when new packs come out and when new exciting things are happening. There'll be news in the next newsletter also about the colouring competition I'm going to run in conjunction with launching the new book. There'll be prizes. So Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Because March is Mr. Fogarty's time to shine. You know, I don't know what I enjoy more, drawing these vines or colouring these vines. They do tend to get you into a zone. Well, the vines down here will get a little bit octopusy. Should have put some eyes in there. Well, this is the mint green. This is my darkest of my three greens. I tend to have a three colour system in place. So I pick my three greens, I work them to blend. I keep my three coloured pencils to work them in. I don't know if that's a good thing, or just all my brain can handle is three things at once. Maybe you can do more. I think it's a good thing. All right, there's a bit of greenery up there too on that flower. And while I've got my green, let's just have a look. I've got some green on this carrot stalk. I'm just going to use the same colours. Pale green, the mint green light. I might just use the two. I think I need the darkest one there. I'm going to keep going with the markers, guys. I'm going to go, so I've done my Canaria yellow for the light. I'm going to use that again and the lemon yellow to colour these. I guess they're sunflowers, so. Could be gerberas. I'm going to make them sunflowers because I think this yellow, orange, green sort of vibe is going to work for me. And once again, I'm just sort of blending my colours to give some variation. I think sunflowers are happy. Now the problem with having a cyclone on our beaches at the moment is that our loggerhead turtle population, they're having a bumper year of little babies and they're all hatching around about now, so poor little guys are swimming and waddling down the beach and then jumping into the ocean, into 17-metre waves. So I think there's an effort by our, some concerned beach people who are trying to work out how to save these little guys from being mashed in the huge surf moments after being born. I guess the other problem is that the beaches that they're all being laid in are getting hammered and washed away, which is just part of the natural cycle of beaches, I guess. The cyclones come and wash it all away, and then over the winter they all get washed back. All the sand gets washed back. Sorry to go on about the cyclone. Who knows, by the time I post this video, it might all be over. Hopefully it blows itself out. It doesn't come in. I'm just hoping it doesn't get any bigger, because Category 2 cyclones are bad enough. Once you get beyond that, things get a bit hairy. A couple of cyclones through every summer. Usually we get the tail end of them, so we're sort of way out of the strike zone. But this one, we're sort of well in the strike zone. So. I don't know if sunflowers have buds like that. It looks like a rosebud, doesn't it? Yeah, well, I got that lemon yellow, which is a little bit darker than the canary. I'm just going to start playing with that colour in here as well. Alright, this is walnut. It's walnut, people. I was thinking of doing walnut for in there. What do you think? just as a base. I am hoping to come in with pencils after and play around with this a bit. Oh, this will look sunflowery. All right, let's talk about this door. I'm thinking of doing it red and black. You know those really cool dark Chinese sort of furniture items that you see? They have the red and the really dark. I'm thinking of going with the dark around the border and the red in the side. So I'm thinking of doing this like a walnut. And coming back into it to richen it up a bit. Richen. It's English, sure. Enrich it. Alright, now just trying to work out how to keep my light. I want to paint this whole door with the Macanaria yellow while it's still nice and wet. Let's see if I can't lightly put this in. And my hope is that that'll sort of be lighter, a bit lighter. So I'm just sort of dabbing it. What I mean is like a lovely dark, sort of purpley, what's this? Kaput mortem. Kaput. Let's grab that. And something that's even a dark sepia. dark sepia and this Caput Mortem violet. Of course, I really want them to be sharp. All right, let's play. What have we got? I'm just going to leave this side of it lighter because there will be some reflecting light. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of that in with pencil. There you go. Well, I want to do the same thing, just leave sort of some areas darker than others. Maybe we should put some yellow there for some light effects. Alright, I'm going to leave those pencils aside so I can find them again. And then I think what we need is something red. Where are my sheets? Something red. Something coral hazy. Some coral red. Coral red's got a bit more orange in it. Coral haze is sort of where I want to go. I can't choose people. Let's go coral red and let's go coral haze. See what we get when we mix them. Let's start with the coral red. Let's go here. So what are we thinking of the red? Certainly striking. All right, this is my coral red. What I want to do is find some French vermilion. And only bring my coral haze in areas that are well away from this light, at the top and at the bottom. While I've got my French vermilion out, I'm just going to pop in some orange on my carrots. And just because you can not wait until the end, I've got my gold ink pen, and this is premature, I know, but you can resist putting on some lovely brass studs into the wall. Oh. And I think we need to do this as well. Maybe we do the inside. A polished brass. Maybe we do the outside, a lovely dark colour. Burnt sienna. I'm scared of this colour. Don't do that. Where's my walnut? That's what I need. I'm going to do these walnut while I'm at it. There's all the hinges. And I'm going to bring back this dark sepia. I might just try and pull out a little bit of detail in this as well. All right, this is my coral red. Well, what colour is a grosser? Red and green, maybe? Some of this more mint green light. And I bring back the colours that I underbased this with. I'm going to leave the centre of this light sort of white. This is my Van Dyke brown. And my brown ochre. What is this? This is in India red. And terracotta. These will be brass, but I think they will be washed out by the intensity of light coming from this. This is green gold. I'm just going to add a little bit more tone to our flower here, whilst not muddying it up. I just want to leave it all nice and bright. Maybe a bit orangey, sort of terracotta in there. All right, I need a break. I need a bit of gold action. It's obviously a fine establishment, one of the upper market grocery stores, as is evidenced by its gold-plated signage and those wonderful doors. What do you think? Do we do the grocery in gold? Might be too much. All right, I've got here a little fox. I'm going to start with my terracotta. I'll just sharpen that up a bit. Bit of terracotta mixed with a bit of this yellow. What is he even wearing? What sort of collar is this? Sensational. It's like a lederhosen on under there. Or is it an apron? He's wearing an apron and with a jacket. Maybe he's wearing a lovely red jacket to match the lovely red doors. What I need is a bright red. This is permanent carmine. Oh. Maybe a little bit of red in his fur, her fur. I need a little bit of darker, a little bit of browny sort of. You know what I need to do? I need to get some purples happening. Purples always do well in shadows. Maybe a little bit of off-white, like an ivory sort of. Pink for the ear. Pink for the nose. Maybe we need some green. Green shirt. And a bit of gold on that sleeve and on those buttons. And those buttons too while we're at it. Which leaves us with his author apron, which I'm going to use my brown ochre and my Van Dyke brown on. Bit of green gold, just to sort of thicken up these. What's that? I missed out a whole thing. Alright, what I need is more yellow on this ground. Alright, greys I think for our little rabbit. Maybe we use some of this as well. What's this? This is our Van Dyke brown. And I might get some warm greys into play. Some sort of raw umber. Bit of grey, bit of light grey. What do you think? What's colours for a rabbit? And of course, we have to reference this light. So the light's reflecting off some of that on his back. Alright, let's start out with my lighter greys. This is a warm grey 3. Work that back into that yellow, just on the areas where his fur is maybe. I'm going to leave the yellow so that it's reflecting off. Yeah, so this is warm grey 3. It's sort of light warm grey. So I'm just wanting to build up the tone colours of his fur into a darker grey. But I don't want to just leave it white, so I'm colouring in lightly over. And I'm just going to go a little bit darker with this warm grey 6, this is double the thickness. I don't want it to be all grey, so I'm going to bring in some sort of muddy brown with a bit of yellow. And I'll go on with a raw umber. Hopefully the blend of those three will give us a nice little rabbit-esque. This raw umber should also blend nicely into our yellow that we've got as reflected light. On the fur areas. Permanent carmine. This may be too much, but I'm going to give him a pink nose. Maybe this is too much. Where's this pink I used before? Just want a little bit of soft inside his ears, some pink inside his ears, maybe a little bit around here. Now I've got to decide what colour he wants to be. Well, what his clothes are, that is. So let's think about that. What I probably want is a nice cool grey 042. I want these to be sort of black, but if I make them black, they're just going to disappear. So I'm going to start them out with a nice mid cool grey. Maybe even his shirt is a black. Because you don't want to wear bright colours when you're robbing, do you? And we'll bring our warm grey and our dark sepia into play. Maybe a terracotta jacket. And now we bring this wonderful colour, permanent carmine in. What do you think? Bit of a red trim. Tie in all these reds. And now I think what we need is green. Some green. Phthalo green. Very his little dress. What is he wearing? A nightie? We'll get that one, and probably want a little darker one. Deep cobalt green. And of course, well, we've got our little gold pen, give him some brass buttons. All right, let's talk about our grocery sign. Maybe we need to go with red. And blend it to something that's a bit more meaty, like this. Caput Mortem Violet, and this is our permanent carmine. All right, this is my CG05, my really light color, which I started with, which is about that. I just don't want to mud in my sign. The other way I could have done this with the other way around, do the dark background, but then I think I'd lose the finest carrots if I did that. So. Alright, I'm going to bring these colours back in, which I used for here. And you just do the outside of these signs. Alright people, we're getting there. I'm just going to take this same colour, this brown ochre, try and build up some colour in this base here. Not much, just light, well, fading off to white. Just bring some of this yellow back in, the light's spilling out. And uncovering our thief and his thieving ways. Alright, what have I got here? My two greens that I used before for here, my phthalo green and my deep cobalt green. I'm just tempted to add in a little bit of texture to this little vine area. Alright, I'm bringing my purple Prismacolor back into play. Just to sort of play with those shadows. don't know why, but bringing purple into the shadows does seem to do fun things. Just sort of makes them look a bit more alive. Now this is sand, this is another Prismacolor. I'm really just playing now. You could call it finished at any time from here. But before I do that, we'll try and pull out some highlights, maybe. Not much, just a little bit. And you know what? I think we'll call that complete. There it is, busted. From Moonlight Mischief. Also available in the March Colour Club pack from rjhampson.com. I had a lot of fun colouring that. I am tempted to do a little bit of blue, maybe a blue blend to the background there, but I think that's finished. Sort of like the crisp white background. If I wanted to play again, I could use my duplicates for the difference version and have the black background, which I think could look fun. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for watching to the end. I hope you enjoyed watching and colouring along with this colour along, and I hope to see you in the next one. So until then, that's bye for now.